What's up, everyone? It's Jason here, back with another dev note from Kingsraid developers. This one's more on the shorter end, but it addresses a couple pretty important things that I think people don't think is as important. I think for people who are, players from back then who understand a little bit more of how the game works and how we used to play it, the emulator, how big these two topics are that they discussed here. So they wrote a lot, but I'll just go over it pretty shortly. So the first one was regarding Steam Store screenshots. They said that they're going to make a PC version via the Steam client. This is pretty big. A lot of mobile games have recently been trying to extend their audience into different platforms. A lot of people don't play mobile games actually on their phone because a lot of how we used to play it was through emulators. A lot of the current gacha games we play through emulators. A lot of developers are now releasing their own standalone clients. Think games like Brown Dust 2, Goddess of Victory Nikke, Starseed Asnia Trigger. They all play via their own client, and now other more recent games like Blue Archive and stuff like that. So this is pretty good for a few reasons. One, PCs generally run a lot better or are a lot stronger than phones. This won't really affect people who are on current version phones that are with new processors, new GPUs, and stuff like that. If you're on a gaming phone, this won't make that big of a difference, but a lot of people don't generally spend so much time on their phone if they have a PC, a console, etc. So people who are interested in these types of games will benefit very, very well from the game being on a big platform like Steam. It extends the audience outwards towards newer PC players who will see the game. Some people like tracking their time spent on games, and Steam does a pretty good, way of doing that. When you open the game, starts the timer, it'll show things like thousands of hours later on games that you currently play. So this is a pretty big deal. I think, PC versions are good. There's essentially no downside to this. The only downside would be is that they do weird things like split, like currencies that you would get. I don't remember which game it was, but like if you spent money on your phone, the pay gems you had on your phone wouldn't appear on the PC version, etc., etc. That's kind of the only like weird thing that could happen. Like it's like payment stuff and all that, but in general, this should be a general W. So the second is actually the bigger thing is that they're currently reverting the decision to make transcendence perks or traits a general thing across all characters. The post mentions the Doomsday patch, which essentially is what killed the game completely. Just for people who didn't know, the Doomsday patch was essentially a number squish and a balance change that affected all characters in the game. If you played in the earlier iterations of Kingsraid pre-Doomsday patch, a lot of people would know that characters would scale to trillions of damage per second, bosses had ridiculous numbers of HP, etc., etc. But people like seeing big numbers, people like seeing their characters scale to crazy heights, and then this patch comes out and bosses have 100,000 HP and characters are doing 10 DPS and stuff like that. Building characters isn't unique because all the stat lines on transcendence traits and everything affects all their characters the exact same way, and so there's only really one way to build characters and stuff like that. And so doing this way, where they said, hey, we're not going to release that patch, we're going to be releasing updates from before this, and we're not going to do this patch ever, so don't worry about it, is really big because it added a lot to build diversity, added a lot to build variety, and I think that's something really, really big. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. I had to take a little break. Anyways, so going back to this, this is a huge thing because it keeps the ability for players to choose how they want to build characters. I think amongst multitude of important things for games is that people want agency over what their characters do. Big number equals, people love seeing their characters scaling in certain ways. In this case, damage numbers go out of control, and people like seeing that. So they're definitely taking a lot of feedback very, very seriously. So I think This shows, at least early on anyways, it brings hope to people that the version of Kingsbury that people really love is going to come back. The community reception so far has been hugely positive. So there's still a bunch of things that we're unsure of. There's still a bunch of things that they haven't addressed. These two things were very important nonetheless, and I hope they continue releasing consistent dev notes up until the game's launch. At least just to go off shorthand, the things that are important is unique weapons and unique treasures. We need more details on those. PvP related stuff, what they're going to do with PvP, because everyone knows that is the most pay to win system in the game, especially RTA and stuff like that. So we'll see. Hopefully they address some more things coming soon. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. Hope to see you in Kingsbury again soon. Currently, no real plans for the next few months while we wait for more news. I'll be probably streaming the other games like Nikke. Currently, I'm in a very big MapleStory mood, and I'm playing, excited, or actually, I'm going to be playing, and I'm very excited for the next Path of Exile League. So I'm very much into the grindy games, Kingsbury being one of them. That used to be it. So hopefully I see you guys there on the grind, and I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.